could we prevent vision loss? These are foods that do not just one thing, but they do multiple things to light up your life. What's wonderful in my work is that many foods, more than 200 foods. So, I'm a medical doctor and a scientist, and I have been involved for many years trying to develop better treatments through biotechnology for diseases like cancer, complications of diabetes, and even vision loss, blindness. And we've been remarkably successful. In fact, there's now 41 FDA approved treatments that we've been deeply involved with. And it's a real privilege and a sort of a badge of honor to have contributed to new medical treatments. But what got me into food was the fact that I realized that we were treating diseases after the horse was out of the barn. And I thought there was an opportunity, a great opportunity, to be able to prevent disease in the first place. And when you're talking about prevention, you really can't talk about drugs or medicines. They're expensive, they have side effects, they need a prescription, and it's not as accessible worldwide. But what you can talk about is food and beverage. I'm using food sort of in a sort of a big frame term. And what's wonderful in my work is that many foods, more than 200 foods.
One of the reasons I love pumpkins is actually a great source of dietary fiber. A cup of pumpkin actually contains 6 to 7 grams of dietary fiber. It's about a fourth of what you would actually want for a whole day in a single cup. So think about all the things you could do with dietary fiber to improve your gut health, which lowers inflammation, improves your immune system, and activates your metabolism. But the other thing about pumpkins is that it contains zeaxanthin and lutein. These are bioactives that have been shown to be good for aging, eyesight, to prevent vision loss from age-related macular degeneration. So maybe you know somebody who's getting older who wants to protect their vision, but also those are carotenoids that have been shown to improve your metabolism, improve your gut health, improve your immune system, and improve your circulation as well. So a lot of good reasons to actually like a pumpkin. Now, here's the thing. When you're a kid, you buy a pumpkin, you carve it, and you toss out the insides. What I'm telling you to do, because all these good bioactives, is to look for a recipe to actually cook with the pumpkins. You can roast the seeds, all right? You can also take the flesh and make something delicious out of it. That's what the dietary fiber is. That's where the lutein and zeaxanthin is as well. So don't toss it out. Use it.
For vision, one of the most profound clinical studies, biggest clinical studies on food and health was run about 20 years ago, started 20 years ago by the National Eye Institute. So this is sort of the, for the National Institute of Health, like a very credible group of researchers wanted to find out, could we prevent vision loss, right? Very important in an aging population, right? Because, people are working at an older age now, and if you can't see, you can't work. And so your productivity and quality of life go way down. And by the way, the other reason to protect vision has to do with the fact that our eyes allow us to be independent. As we get older, we all want to be independent. We want to do our own thing. And the problem is that if you can't see, you can't be independent. You can't even take your own medicines, right? And if you need them as an older person. So protecting vision was a big priority. So what was discovered is that there are dietary supplements that are made of the same things you can find in foods. Zeaxanthin, lutein, carotenoids, okay, and I'll come to the foods in a second, that when given to people in their 60s and 70s and 80s can dramatically reduce the risk of vision loss from macular degeneration. Amazing, right? So here's a dietary supplement that actually works. So there's so much hubris about the salesmanship of dietary supplements. If you ever wanted to find one supplement to trust, it's the one that had the largest clinical trial to preserve your vision. It's called AREDS, AREDS. I don't get paid by any companies doing any of this stuff. I'm just telling you the facts, the data is really convincing. So AREDS is recommended for people, frankly, over the age of 50 to take once a day in order to be able to protect their vision. But here's the thing. The stuff in AREDS is really, some vitamins, there's lutein, there's zeaxanthin. These chemicals that I just mentioned, zeaxanthin and lutein, These are natural chemicals that Mother Nature has laced into foods. What are some of the foods? Watercress, kale, broccoli, red bell peppers, persimmons, tomatoes. You get these same type of natural bioactives just from the foods that we can eat. So, this whole idea of plant-based foods, which is a generalization, we can be more specific. Carrots, kale, leafy greens like watercress, those actually contribute to blood vessel health for your eye, to lower the risk that you might have blood vessels going out of control. They tame the lion. And the other thing that they actually do is they also, because you're eating them, they go into the bloodstream, they also affect your brain. They also protect and tame circulation to ensure better brain circulation as well, better blood flow to the brain. One last thing I want to talk about heart health and brain health is stress. Chronic stress, which, I've had as much as you guys, really puts an undue burden on our health. One thing it does, stress causes our adrenal glands, which sit on top of our kidneys, to release a lot of cortisol. It puts a demand on our heart. Our heart beats faster. It also changes our microbiome. It risks our blood vessels, our circulation. It screws up our stem cells, and it lowers our immunity. It causes us to be more inflamed. So how do we actually lower stress? Well, it's not just food, it's lifestyle as well. So getting enough sleep, exercising lowers stress, being with friends and family safely, family, by the way, that you like, actually can lower stress. But I do want to share with you some interesting stuff. So eating this can actually help you lower stress as well. This is a bar of chocolate. This is 86% chocolate. Anything over 80 will actually do it. It's cacao, dark chocolate. I'll tell you, this is chocolate I helped to create with a friend of mine, Katrina Markov. She has figured out somehow how to make really dark chocolate, completely smooth, not bitter at all. And it's with Vosges chocolate. It's called a line of. So research have actually studied healthy volunteers who are stressed out, and they measured their blood and their urine to look for stress markers. And what they did is they gave them dark chocolate, kind of like what I just showed you, dark chocolate to eat for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. And they found that when they measured in the blood and the urine for people who ate chocolate, the stress markers, eating chocolate lowered cortisol, lowered adrenaline, and lowered these stress markers in their urine as well. And so high anxiety people can lower their stress markers by eating chocolate. Now, what does chocolate do? It actually also helps the gut bacteria, by the way, also improves brain function.